scripture reading this Sunday is the story of Jesus healing the man born blind. It's a long reading, so I'm just going to read excerpts. If you want to have a look at the full reading, look at the Gospel of John, chapter 9. As he went along, a man who had been born blind from birth was there. His disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, for him to have been born blind?" "Neither he nor his parents sinned," Jesus answered. "He was born blind so that the works of God might be displayed in him. As long as the day lasts, I must carry out the work of the one who sent me. The night will soon be here when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world." Having said this, he spat on the ground, made a paste with the spittle, put this over the eyes of the blind man, and said to him, "Go and wash in the pool of Siloam," a name that means sent. So the blind man went off and washed himself, and came away with his sight restored. They brought the man who had been blind to the Pharisees. It had been a Sabbath day when Jesus made the paste and opened the man's eyes. So when the Pharisees asked him how he had come to see, he said, "He put a paste on my eyes, and I washed, and I can see." Then some of the Pharisees said, "This man cannot be from God, he does not keep the Sabbath." Others said, "How could a sinner produce signs like this?" And there was disagreement among them. So they spoke to the blind man again. "What have you to say about him yourself, now that he has opened your eyes?" "He is a prophet," replied the man. And the story goes on with lots of arguments between the Pharisees and others about whether Jesus was a sinner and why was he doing this. And it ends up with the Pharisees casting Jesus out. It's interesting, isn't it, that when people do good, sometimes they are shunned or pushed away. One of the lines at the beginning of that reading that caught my attention was, "I am the light of the world." I like that because I think it gives us hope at this time of Lent when we're moving towards the passion and the death of Jesus. There is so much darkness in this world. We have only to think of terrorism and violence, domestic abuse, child abuse in our own country. All these things need healing. And Jesus is saying, "I am the one that can do it. I'm the one that can cure your blindness. I'm the one that you need to come to in faith, and I will make you see." The arguments that this simple act of Jesus engendered remind us that sometimes when we are trying to live out the Christian life and uphold the ideals and principles which we know deep in our hearts, that life is not always going to be easy. Elsewhere in John's Gospel, Jesus says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." The way there refers to his way in his life, and his way led him to death. And if we want to follow Jesus, the way, we have to know that sometimes we are going to be offended by others, we are going to be pushed round by others, we are not going to be accepted by others, just as Jesus had that experience. So let's, in these weeks that remain of Lent, let's think of ways which we can follow Jesus in our everyday life. We don't have to do anything extraordinary. Every single day there comes an opportunity to stand up in some way as a Catholic Christian or as a Presbyterian Christian or whatever. And we need to do this because it's very important that people see us witnessing to our faith. May God be with you.